anti-corruption fighter in the entire history of Nigeria is President Tinubu.
Tell me.
It is not to make Tinubu.
Unlike Buhari, that is being being seen as someone who didn't want others to actually.
And then we are talking of 39 billion here, and what did you see? Were you able to account for anything from that era?
See, the issue of Betta Edu, this particular lady, the lady they said the Minister of Humanitarian, who embezzled over 3 billion naira. Wow. Let's say some people know how. Anyway, let me not talk about it. Let's watch this video together. We'll be right back to do some exegesis to it.
Following up on the scandal that has rocked the humanitarian ministry, which led to the suspension of its minister, Dr. Betta Edu. The minister was said to have received the sum of 3 billion naira of COVID-19 funds for the verification of the National Social Register. Well, in a letter dated September 18th, 2023, Femi Gbajabiamila, the chief of staff to the president, told Betta Edu that her request to obtain the 3 billion naira from the COVID-19 funds had been approved by the president. The 3 billion naira was reportedly disbursed to 9 companies, including one linked to Olubunmi Tunjiojo, Minister of Interior. The approval letter from the chief of staff has now elicited more reactions. Vimbai, this letter, is coming at the same time, that panel has been set up to investigate the ministry. But the issue here is about that COVID-19 funds. I mean, back in 2020, the World Bank had issued $114 million to Nigeria. And also, even the central bank issued 100 million naira credit. And, we saw a lot of looting at the time. If you can pull up some of those videos where Nigerians were saying we are suffering, where is the money? But at the time, they also asked the Accountant General of the Federation to account for those funds. And now we are seeing that the 3 billion naira, that's the video, the 3 billion naira was issued for verification of the social register. I mean, this is absurd at this point.
Oji, this is devastating at the least, because there's so many layers to the story, so many layers to it. Like you rightfully said, it's 2023. Our suffering is now, induced by other factors. But in 2020, 2021, at the height of the impact that was caused to businesses, people, property, so people suffered during 2020 because, COVID, it wasn't anything anybody could have planned for. And then to now discover that there's 3 billion that was hanging out somewhere in an account and is now available to redo, because the social register had been done, but there was a choice to redo it, is another question when there are more pressing matters on the ground. And then secondly, it is now part of these funds are now being transferred to a Minister of Interior who is no longer a director in the business, but we all know the complexities of this story. So now the question here is, what is going to happen to the Minister of Interior? Because we've seen Betta Edu, she's being investigated. Kudos for that. We need to see this investigation expand to all who are named here, so that they can also clear their names. They need to be given an opportunity to clear their names. To end off, in international relations, they always like to say there are no permanent friends, only permanent interests. I know Betta Edu's media aide is saying that this is all part of blackmail. And it just goes to show you that when the chips are down, like Ayo was saying just now, it all comes down to personal interests. And it all comes down to people trying to save their necks and clear their names. Well, if that's what it's going to take to sanitize, corruption in various departments, then please leak. Let the leakages continue. We want to see more documents leaking.
Yes, it's one leak memo after another.
Quickly, Olubunmi Ojo was supposed to be at CCB yesterday. He couldn't make it because he has another engagement. I think they fixed another date for him. He should be there. Also, the Chief of Staff, Mr. Gbajabiamila, should be able to make more explanation as regards this COVID-19. You see, these are part of the things. When Buhari was saying we should forgive him, do you know most of these monies were printed? They were not monies we had. They were the monies CBN printed. That's part of the things causing inflation in the country today. and you see the way they squandered the humanitarian ministry, all sorts of. You're talking about the accountant general of the last administration. Was that not the man that was caught in a corruption scandal? Over 100 billion? For the past 8 years now, most accountant general has been caught in corruption. The one under Goodluck Jonathan too was caught in corruption.
No, we
it's like a poison chalice.
About that. The National Assembly invited.
So we keep having these things, and it goes on. We are printing money, they are squandering it in about 6 months, and you can see the corruption allegation. And some people that were very bigoted enough when we're talking about these things in this country, thought it was about religion. They pushed everything, Muslim. You can see, Nigeria's problem is not about that. It's about leaders having the heart to do well for the people. And the problem is, we don't have checks and balances in place that make the leader have the heart for the people.
Yeah.
You can see when Lagosians were protesting, no palliative for them to eat. Apparently, the humanitarian ministry is now answering questions. When we're saying, how would you give school feeding program during COVID-19 when schools were not open? They said our mouth was smelly. But whose mouth is smelly today?
I mean, look at
that's
that.
the kind of country we've built. And when we say it, somebody sits up there and say, apologize for what? When people died because of this. People were robbed by 1 million boys during COVID-19 because of this.
It's unfortunate. 3 billion
So
naira
please, the
from
chief
that
of staff
fund.
needs to explain.
Yes.
Accountant general needs to explain. All of them. The chief of staff needs to explain about this.
Absolutely.
In 2020, the federal government took a facility of $500 million to execute the National Social Register and cash transfers.
We can't account
So we
for it.
spent money then to do this social register. Now we're spending another 3 billion to verify.
Unfortunate.
Just to let Nigeria, because that was a loan. So I'm not sure we've paid back the $500 million, and we're already spending more money to do in a very no. So we need to understand the scope of the problem, and that every penny ought to be accounted for.
Absolutely.
$500 million, 2020. What happened?
You heard what Rufai Hussein said, and that of Ojiukbi. Now, in this Nigeria, when you hear politicians calling out money, or the media house calling out money that the Nigerian politicians are embezzling, even you yourself at attack one you. Like, seriously, there is this kind of money in Nigeria. Somebody will just sit down and eat it, and nothing will happen. Somebody, the money that were made from palliative, somebody just embezzle it. Sometimes we felt like the youth are supposed to be the leaders of tomorrow. Once you give the youth a platform, they do worst. A lot of things is happening in Nigeria up till today. Nobody can question what is going on anymore. You don't even. The problem is that governance is the biggest issue. If you further investigate these issues, you will even know that there are a lot of people behind this money that this lady embezzled. Even your past president, which is Buhari, is also involved in all of this.
President Tinubu gave her the job because he made a judgment call that she would fit into that ministry. Now I'm not going to pass judgment on her, but the optics are really, really disgusting. That is just the bitter truth. You know, it seems some people are taking our president for granted, and I think that is because they've only so far they've seen the dove side of Bola Tinubu, the carrot side of Bola Tinubu. Now they are about to see the lion side.
You think
the
so?
stick side.
Because when I talk to some APC people, they tell me that President Tinubu, the reason why a lot of your party members wanted him to get the APC ticket and win is because it's a chop person.
Who? My president?
Eats,
no, not at all.
Unlike Buhari, that is being quote,
what?
being seen as someone who
does
didn't
what?
want others to actually. You know,
and then we are
feast.
talking of 39 billion here, and what did you see? Were you able to account for anything from that era? But do you know the number one anti-corruption fighter in the entire history of Nigeria is President Tinubu?
Tell me.
It is not to make Tinubu even starts it from an infrastructural, an architectural standpoint. He first of all starts blocking leakages. People, unbeknownst to a lot of Nigerians, they don't even know what our president has been doing.
Well, that's why you're here. At
Yes,
least you are
blocking,
you are
just blocking knowledge, leakages in the government. You know, strengthening institutions, strengthening accountability. That is what he did in Lagos. You know, this whole idea of let me wait for somebody to thief. before I catch the person. That's not Bola Tinubu's preference. His first preference is I will prevent you from being able to steal in the first place. Then if howsoever you succeed in passing through a crack to steal, well, too bad for you, because I will pounce on you. President Tinubu, do you know where that ridiculous narrative came from? It came from Tinubu's generosity. You understand? Tinubu can spend his last kobo on his fellow man. He hates people.
And some of the people who come to him come there because there's an assumption that as a former governor of Lagos State, he actually got some monies from Lagos.
Not at all. Tinubu made money. So, Tinubu started making money while working, while growing up with his mother. His mother was a market woman, a trader. She grew in her business and became Iyaloja of Nigeria. Somebody who grew up with a trader would not know how to make money.
So some of the appointees are coming to him because he was seen to be as someone who plays game.
Not at all. I must push back most vehemently against that.
Okay, so are you saying that President Tinubu has a very strong anti-corruption agenda that is going to be different from that of Buhari?
Of course,
that may make the
that's
government
of anybody.
To be much better.
Most certainly, that's the even President understands that that's the only way to succeed.
The problem now is that there are lots of people, even as present government, which is under Tinubu, that is already doing worse. They are just the minister of nothing. The minister of this, minister of that, they do nothing. There is always money allocated to their office, but they share it for no reason. But my question to every one of them is that, upon all this money, what are you using this money for? You have a good house, you have good cows, and you have already enough in your account, and yet you still embezzle and embezzle and embezzle more. For what reason? What do you want this money for? And the problem now is that you take this money, you dump it in the Europe account or in the Western world, or you don't touch it, you leave it there. I don't even know if most people are thinking the way I think. You have money. What are you using? It's just like somebody like Dangote, a greedy businessman, monopoly. Like only you want to become the richest man in Africa, the richest man in Nigeria, the richest. Now nobody can afford your food. Nobody can buy a bag of Smith anymore. When Boss Smith came out, you have to go and quickly look for a way to shut it down. You just want to remain on top. You don't want any competitor. You just want money and more money and more money. Just the title. You are rich. You can't eat this. When you died, this money they will not bury you with this money. What's going on in Nigeria system? A governor will be voted for 8 years in power, doing nothing. Just sit there, eat, nothing. They will not tie road, they will not renovate, they will not construct, they will do nothing. I don't know. This pains me. Anyway, the way I'm talking, it really pains me so much that the insecurity in the country, they know what to do, they will not do nothing. Next 4 years, once they want to rerun, you see them running towards the streets, trying to act again as if they care. You will not ask, where are these people for the past 4 years? You will not see them. Now that they want to recontest, you see them trying to go to school to go and eat corn with the poor people, strange strategies for the past 16 years, and yet all of you will still fall for it. Same strategies since 1999. Anyway, this is one going to be ending the video. Until we meet again, stay tuned, Plan B TV. Please comment your thoughts. What do you think about this lady, Betta Edu? And we'll meet again in our next video. Peace out.
Plan B TV. Plan B TV. Everybody make you wake up to Plan B TV. I'll give you the news I see the hot up. Subscribe and give them thumbs up. Now they go give you the updates. They are the new blocks in the town. Now they go give you the gist though. Now they go give you all the news, cause it's kind of weather you need all the fun, oh. I said now who they is on a Plan B TV. Plan B TV. I said now who they is on a Plan B TV. Plan B TV. I said now who they is on a Plan B TV. Plan B TV. Plan B TV. Plan B TV. Plan B TV.